The womb, the sacred centre of the female form, shrouded in mystery, obscured by shame. She holds and nurtures the unborn child. She is the centre of creation. She's sometimes violated, often discarded, and rarely honoured. In these conversations, my guests and I will honour the womb, giver of life, protector, nurturer. With thanks to all of my guests, I present Stories from the Womb. Welcome to another episode of Stories from the Womb. This week I am joined by a lovely lady who I met recently. Her name is Sally Mady. Welcome, Sally.
Hi, Emma. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming on. And I'm just going to hand over to you, actually, Sally, to tell your birth stories exactly as feels right for you, if that's okay.
First of all, let me say it's very emotional to talk about birth stories now after my daughter is 13 and a half, and to remember her birthday is just, it brings me joy, but also emotions, mixed emotions. And so I'll start with her birth story. She's 13 and a half, and my son is 10. With my daughter, it was natural birth. Everything was perfect. She was the perfect baby, full term, exact on the due date, everything. I had a plan. I wanted to do a water birth, and I had a big plan in my head. We did write it down, my husband and I, just few points. But on the day, there was no such a thing as plan. It's not that anything went wrong. It was just there wasn't time. There wasn't enough time to do that, because when I started having contractions and my water broke, actually the first thing was my water broke at around 2 a.m. I called the hospital and they said wait until contractions are, I can't remember the exact, is it 3 minutes or less?
They're looking for established labour. It's like 3 in 10 minutes, 3 contractions.
Yeah, something like, yeah. It seems a while ago. But anyway, so we head to hospital 7 a.m. and obviously I was like, I'm never having children again. That's it. The pain was unbearable, but my pain tolerance is quite high. Anyway, so we went in, no painkillers needed, nothing, just wait. And then, yeah, all of a sudden I was 10 centimeters fully dilated, and that was it. So I gave birth at 1:19 p.m. and I remember exact. So it wouldn't have been, let's say, 12 hours, which was really great for a first birth. That's what I was being told. Everything was amazing. I enjoyed every part of it. I did have forceps.
You did?
I did have forceps, and I knew afterwards that forceps weren't actually used as much at the time, and they were completely not used or not allowed in the USA. I didn't know anything about like why is it not allowed, etc. A year after that, I had to have my stitches redone, unfortunately.
Oh, bless.
And that was the worst part. It's going through the pain twice.
So did you have a full episiotomy then?
Yes. Actually, no, I can't remember that. But the stitches were very thick.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very sore for quite some time. So that I had to do a private operation a year after, just to have them stitches. I don't want it's redone, but also make them thinner.
Yeah.
Somehow. That was the only thing that it didn't put me off, because I had my second child, but that was the only thing that I didn't consider, that I didn't plan for.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, everything. Oh, I remember sitting in the hospital journaling how much the experience has been for me. I couldn't sleep from how much I wanted to write the first night.
Yeah.
Her breastfeeding was amazing. She was just an angel. She was like, everything was amazing. Um, and then
Can we back up just a little bit? She was born in the UK, is that right?
she was, yeah. And the team were amazing. The nursing team, the midwife, the like the yeah, when there's something wrong, you find three midwives in a room, and if needed, um maybe a consultant will come, but I did need the consultant to come and do the stitches, but I mean, their team were absolutely amazing.
Mm. Yeah, they are. I mean, I
Yeah,
always say I have lots of criticisms of the maternity service, but I think the individuals within it, they are doing their darndest to make it work. It's just unfortunate that there's a lot of stuff around it that
absolutely.
doesn't
And
support.
they helped me so much at night. Like, they wanted me to rest. They want to take my baby from me to allow me rest. They were amazing by
Oh,
all means. Um I stayed 2 nights in both births, only because by the time I went to work the ward, it was quite late, and they keep you one night, and then the next day there they it was a weekend, so they needed the pediatrician to see my daughter, and then they're before they go, or and wait for me to pee and all of that. But
mm,
it wasn't necessary. The second night was just more of a luxury.
nice. And did it feel luxurious?
It did because as I said, that I had such amazing help from the team, encouraging me to walk, encouraging me to take a shower, and it was just very supportive team. Yeah,
Lovely. That's so lovely to hear because it's not always the case, is it?
I know, and this is what happened with the second time.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Batten down the hatches, everybody. Incoming.
So with my second pregnancy, at the scan, 5 months scan, where you find the gender of the baby, it was 2 days before we were due to fly to Mexico. And
Mhm.
I went into the scan, and I was told that I had placenta previa,
Oh,
which means my placenta was very low down, that it's completely blocking the exit.
yeah.
And it was unlikely that it would move. And therefore, I have to be very careful for the remainder of my pregnancy.
Hmm.
Obviously, we didn't fly because the pressure wouldn't have helped at all, and it would have put my baby and myself into danger of
Mm.
bleeding and all of that. So this was a bit worrying because I had to be very careful with my movement, can't carry much, and my daughter was 3 at the time, so it was a bit demanding. Um, if we were to go anywhere, I had to have my file with me because if I were to bleed, then it's immediately an emergency C-section. So this was the worrying part, that with every move, you're not sure what's happening. And if the baby's not active enough, you think, oh, what's happening inside there? So this was the part that it was stressing me
I can
so
imagine.
much. Yeah, it was. And not just me, obviously my husband as well, not sure what's happening. But again, the team have been amazing. I was seen more than often than the usual. I had extra scans as well.
Mhm.
So instead of then, because after the 5 months, if you're in the UK, you don't have any more ultrasound scans for the baby unless needed. So the team would see me more often. I had two other scans in between after
Right.
then, to assure me everything is fine. And he was premature. He decided to come 5 weeks early. One day I woke up and I started having bleeding, so that meant it's immediately, and it was 2 days before my appointment to see the consultant to plan the C-section date.
Okay.
But it's again, if you whatever you plan, just don't get hooked on it, because it might not go to plan, and that's okay. I've learned, okay, he decided to come today, that's it. He decided to come today, it is his day. So yeah, I didn't wait long, but I had to wait to be fasting because it was, by the time I got to hospital, you didn't eat, you're not meant to eat before C-section. So that's, and have a room and free, etc. Everything was amazing. C-section done. Child didn't need any incubator or anything. Absolutely fine. But then again, so the first, when I went to the ward, the team that time, and it was unfortunately the ward manager that shift. I don't know why my kids tend to come on the weekends. It was another weekend.
Hmm.
So that weekend, the manager wasn't very empathetic, very supportive, very a bit tough,
Hmm.
forcing me to move, but in a not a nice way. It hasn't been 12 hours even when I was in the ward, still had my catheter in, and she forced me to start getting up and moving because they need the bed. They need
Hmm.
my space. So I did, got up, immediately fainted. My blood pressure, I think, was, I don't know, something ridiculous, 60 over 40 or something. I was pale, pale, the white as a pillow. I don't know, what do you call it? um,
White as a sheet.
white as a sheet. That's it. Um, obviously, as you can tell, I'm from Egypt, so my accent is not British English. So that was the part where I didn't feel supported, and it got everyone stressed. My husband was there and seeing me not able to move and then fainting and having
Horrendous.
emergency help. That was horrendous. And she wasn't supportive. However, the rest of the team, I do get the point that she wants me to move, but it's very hard on a mom of a child that's already at home to would want to stay longer at hospital, not
Yeah.
knowing, like, you're torn between your child at home being looked after by someone else and you're still at hospital with a newborn. So there's a lot of emotions, and she wasn't taking any account to that, which was upsetting.
Of course. And it's not just any old operation, is it? A
E-
cesarean, it's major abdominal surgery. That is,
Especially when it's an emergency, like you feel you haven't had time to process what's happening.
yeah.
I was looking after my grandfather that time because my mother was away. So you're not just packing your bags and going on holiday. You are actually thinking of many people in your life that got affected in the minute of you going into hospital. Um, so yeah, that was the part that didn't go to plan. He breastfeeding was a bit tough with him. He was super tiny,
Mhm.
possibly the tiniest baby I've ever seen, and he dropped weight after. Um, I think he reached 1.8 kilograms a few days after from hospital. Um, he had jaundice for 2 months, but he didn't need he just needed to be fed.
Right.
So the worry with not being able to move, and then you worry, so you're not eating properly, you're not drinking enough, and then it's just a vicious cycle. But again, the midwife team at home were amazing. However, can't break a habit. I had to have my stitches redone
No way.
because my womb got stuck to like my stomach lining
Mhm.
because of how thick. I'm not sure what they use with me. Again, the stitches were, so that caused adhesions. And I had because I have endometriosis, I was due to be seen privately a year after, and with the laparoscopy showed that the stuckness, the adhesions from the stitches. So I had them just retouched, like refined a little bit.
Mhm. It's
But that was it. Yeah. But two different experiences completely, and I wouldn't have thought they would be that different.
especially that way.
Maybe
It's quite
yes,
unusual for the more difficult labor to be the second one.
to be
Once
the
you
second one.
aced it like that first time round, it's often just follows that you're going to carry on in that way.
I think maybe because if it was the other way around, I wouldn't have thought for a second child.
Oh, really?
And this is the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, and also placenta previa is a thing that
Mm,
you're just not going to get, but unless the uterus grows out of the way. But were they confident that when they took him out, it was still there over the cervix?
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It did not move at all because I did have multiple scans from after the fifth month scan and when I went into labor, but there was nothing, no changes whatsoever, and they were certain it's not going to change. And I think the way that I was told the information was a bit blunt, and it sounded like I should know what a placenta previa means.
Right. Was
I had my mother, my mother-in-law in the room. We're all very excited to find out the gender of the baby. My husband was there, and when you're holding your emotions and your tears because they're not sure what does that mean.
mm,
So when you're told, "Oh, I can see a placenta previa," I'm like, "Okay, what does that mean?"
yeah.
And the explanation was, "Your exit is completely blocked." So I totally immediately got what that meant. Like he can't come out.
Yeah.
But then you're asked questions from, what does that mean? Is the baby okay? Is the baby okay? Are you and you feel you're full with emotions and worries and um but yeah,
Yeah.
it's his special story and although things haven't been smooth with him, but yeah, I still remember it to the detail.
Well, we do, don't we? We remember our
Yeah.
birth stories vividly, whatever's presented to us.
Honest.
And I don't know. I was thinking as you were speaking, I was thinking placenta previa is one of those little design flaws on Mother Nature's behalf, because a lot of cesareans happen for, they can often be the end result of a cascade of intervention. But that is just something actually without cesareans, we would be losing mothers and babies to placenta previa.
Yes.
So what a relief that he was born in the 21st century and not the 18th century.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, and yet there are different. They did say that some placentas are partially blocking the exit, and these
Yeah.
there are the ones that could possibly move. So not all placenta that aren't in place mean C-section.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, they can grow
but
as the
yes,
uterus grows. They can grow.
absolutely,
They can
yeah.
just grow up. But yeah, I wonder what goes on in there that they can get in the wrong place because it's the placenta belongs to the baby. I understand it's like
Mm,
that produces it. So you know, I guess they make mistakes sometimes.
let
But
me.
and how has your journey been as a mother with both of your children? Have you noticed any difference between the sort of style of birth? Has it changed, affected any bonding, or you said it was a bit more difficult to breastfeed him?
Yeah, it was. I didn't have enough milk, and the worry, the stress, the tiredness, yeah, I think as well as having the second child and having to look after my first, and you're just in the midst of motherhood. You haven't recovered properly from the first one to start with, and then you're having the second one. So that had an effect on so my movement, my nutrition, it was very poor nutrition, I must say, with my second child after I gave birth. I wasn't looking after myself properly, and that had an effect on uh, how well I was breastfeeding. But it created a different bond between us, between
Mm,
my son and I. I used to look at him at the beginning and as a victim, bless him, like oh, poor thing, you had to go through that. And then it created a different bond.
yeah,
While I remember not wanting to stop breastfeeding with my first one.
yeah,
I loved breastfeeding. Didn't have any problem, didn't have problem stopping either. It was all very smooth. But with him, all my focus was to make him grow because he was so little. So whatever it could take, I just want him to grow.
yes,
And it did mean that I had to top after. top his feed with just a little bit of formula to start with at the beginning. And that didn't feel, I didn't feel bad about doing that with the second child, while I was not happy giving my daughter, my firstborn, formula, because I thought I have milk. I have so much milk. I don't want to switch you to formula. I don't want to switch you even to normal milk. But it was time to stop when she started nursery full time.
Right.
And that was just unsustainable. But with my other son, I would have loved to have more, a longer breastfeeding bond. It was just for comfort, not for growth, not for nutrition, for him.
Yeah, and you said all the pieces that you just talked about, the stress and the worry. Breastfeeding needs oxytocin, as does.
Mm,
And when you're stressed out and you're worried and you're trying to do multiple things and you're trying to recover from abdominal surgery as well and have a brand new baby and all that that entails, I would say that's probably why your milk wasn't able to flow so freely because of your
yeah.
hormones.
And then oh, to top it up, his 2 months, what is it? The 8 weeks vaccine they had. One of them is rotavirus. The rota in the he had a side effect from it, was bleeding in the stool. There was blood in the stool. So all that meant that he can't have the second dose. So the worry with him was a bit constant because
Mm,
of how small he was as well. So that did have a huge effect on me physically, mentally, and the worry was just too much. Uh, it it meant that there was no way to breastfeed him fully and have enough milk for him because of how much things were topping up the worry that I had towards
yeah.
him, and how little I didn't know how even I was holding him. He was just so little. I know there are kids that are even smaller, much premature, but I wasn't used to that. My daughter was full term, so there is the shock of difference. But what I've learned from the experience is, as I couldn't compare their birth stories or birth experiences. I can't compare them as children either, or as human beings. And that was a great reminder when they're growing up academically, how they behave, how they are socially, their sports, their hobbies, that was really, whatever I do, I don't compare them anymore,
That's
because they
great.
are just completely different human beings, completely different stories.
Yeah, which is probably a good lesson. We probably ought not to be comparing our children because we're all unique, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Even twins and triplets who've shared the same space, they
Yeah.
have their little one has one way and the other has a different.
And then,
And so they're now 10 and 13, your children.
yeah.
Yeah. And what have you been doing since you recovered from everything and you got on your feet and you weren't being just full on mummy? You've probably got a bit of time now, haven't you, for your own work and your own business?
Yes, yes. I've been since they were little, I worked in the family businesses, supporting different family businesses. But for the past 4 years, I've been starting up my own coaching business,
Hmm.
and I help mothers to reconnect with themselves, to reclaim their identity. Because after the journey of motherhood, birth, and you lose part of yourself, you forget what you're you like to do, what you enjoy doing. You are focused completely on giving so much that you may start doubting yourself, doubting your abilities. And this is where I help mothers reconnect with themselves so that they can find joy in life, find fulfillment beyond motherhood. By all means, to me, motherhood is the greatest achievement and privilege. Um, but if it's affecting how you see yourself or how you're progressing in life, then this can change. And it has changed for me.
Yeah. That's such a lovely offering because I think, well, motherhood is a very sort of underseen and undervalued profession, occupation, whatever the word is. I mean, it is the most time consuming of all the professions, and it's the worst paid, I found. Having
It's not paid at all.
I know it's not, that was me being a bit silly, but yes. Yeah, we sort of end up on the bottom of the pile, really, don't we, mums?
But we put ourselves at the bottom of the pile. It doesn't need to be that way. And the change for me was when I realized I am actually raising children who see their mom at the bottom of the pile.
Yeah.
And they will be at the bottom one day, and that can change. And it's got to start with me.
Yeah.
It's not selfish, it's modeling life, modeling behavior, modeling how to love and respect and appreciate yourself. Um, because as you said, yes, it is an unpaid job and it's actually non-stop job. So it's 24/7. It's
365 days a year.
even when I haven't reached that stage yet, when they leave the house, when we don't become an empty nesters, but that doesn't stop. You will always worry about them. You'll always think of how you can support them, their families, their kids, their everything in life. So it doesn't stop. Once you start, it doesn't stop. So looking after ourselves will just mean longer, healthier, happier relationship
Mm,
and health as well.
yeah. And relationship with the partner as well. It's not just about the relationship with the children, is it? It's also coming back to yourself because our partners did not fall in love with us as mothers. Well, they might have done, I suppose, if you already had children. But but
Yeah.
it's a shift in the relationship, and it's all about how we land and settle. I wish I'd had some of you when I was a mum.
Yeah.
I am still a mum, like you say. It doesn't go
Yeah.
away. I do have an empty nest, but I do check in with how they are often. So
Yeah, this is exactly what I tell the moms I work with is once you start putting yourself back into perspective, what happens is studies actually showed that a child's happiness is immediately correlated to a mom's happiness. So if you're happy, they're happy children, and you can test that. If you come home grumpy, the kids will pick on that and they will start acting out. They will start maybe snapping. They will start fighting together. While if you're happy in your general life and content, they will be happy and they will be regulated from your regulation. But not only that, as you said, relationships will improve massively once you start putting yourself in perspective. You will stop being waiting for validation, for to be seen by someone else, to be appreciated, because you are just happy as you are, content, you're fulfilled. It will have an effect on your business if you want to start a business, if you want to maybe ask for a promotion, maybe change jobs. Maybe we can't do that from a place when we are disconnected from ourselves, when we don't know where we want to head to. So it starts with self and then it just ripples out
yeah,
and has a huge impact on everyone and everything in life, not to mention the mental health and how important that affects once you see yourself differently. That changes everything.
absolutely. And what's the name of your business?
Coaching for balance.
Coaching for Balance.
Coaching for balance.
And do
I
you
have a Facebook group community. It's a free community. It's called the Flourishing Mama.
nice. And do you work just one to one or do you work with groups sometimes?
At the moment, I work one to one because up to now, everyone has been having individual stories and needs, and we tailor the 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 sessions to those needs. But hopefully soon I will be transferring that into a group coaching as well.
Nice. And do you have blocks? People would take on a block, or do you just have it a rolling thing?
It starts with a 3 months.
Right.
We have 90 days together. That's the start one, and then there is the a year program as well. The year program is kind of like the high end offer, which is more to focus on that ripple effect that I'm mentioning in terms of business, in terms of career, in terms of expansion. While the first 3 months is bringing you home, is bringing the mother back to herself with challenging the beliefs, the patterns, the habits, focusing on energy and time management, and where the leakage is happening in our energy, and how to reclaim that, how to have difficult conversations that we've been avoiding, and set boundaries, and just be able to be ourselves.
Yeah.
Because that constant giving as a mother doesn't just stem from mother, it stems from childhood, from beliefs, from stories, from conditionings. But also with motherhood, it just amplifies that. It highlights patterns that we've been doing on repeat, but we no longer want to carry on doing.
Yeah. Yes. Well, women are a little bit prone to that anyway, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Overgiving. And overgiving is fine if you know how to give back to yourself as well, and you can keep that. You can keep that. What is it, like the petrol
If
tank
yeah,
full?
if it's not costing you
Yes.
something in return, then that's absolutely fine. If nothing is broken, don't try to fix it. If life is happening perfect, then amazing. But if there are triggers, if there are patterns that you want to break, if you realize you're unhappy, you're snapping, you're easily triggered, you're overthinking, perfectionism
Mm,
kicking in, all of these thoughts, then there's something deep down, because we're only aware of the 10% of the surface level of behaviors that we do. The 90% are dig deep, that needs help and support and guidance to bring to the surface.
absolutely. And I think also, as you were speaking, I was thinking about the sort of compare and despair culture that we live in, with lots of Instagram and Facebook, and everybody's looking really happy and really beautiful, and like they've got the nailed. Like, very few people take videos of themselves when they're at rock bottom and feeling like they, well, just wish the world would leave them alone. It's not really the time you make a little Instagram reel, is it? So I think it's very easy to believe that everybody else is absolutely rocking the whole thing, and that's where I think the group work might be really nice down the line,
Yeah.
because it will give a sense of community and support, because we have lost a lot of that, right, over the last few years.
We've lost the human touch as well, with a lot of technology introduction and AI and quick
Absolutely.
fixes using Google and AI tools. But you're right about Instagram Reels not being the reality. If it is, then amazing. Well, good on those who are sharing those reels. But reality is, it's very rare that this is happening to a mom's life. It's okay. It's okay, that it's part of the process, part of the story, it's part of life to have ups and downs. But the main thing is not to stop and dwell into what's triggering, what's causing, like, it's we're not trying to avoid stress, we're trying to handle life, carry on with life, understanding those stressors, and actually handling those stressors, is because stress is good in a way, because it keeps us motivated, it's a good driver. But we don't stop there. It's okay, let's go beyond, let's understand what's going on beneath the surface and move forward.
Yeah. Yeah. And what sort of age do you tend to, well, as in age of babies, when do mums tend to come to you? What sort of stage in the game of motherhood do you find most of your clients come?
So it's mothers of usually young children, when they start going to nurseries, going to schools, and the mom finds herself. That was definitely what I felt, and what made me start my coaching business, is when you feel like you're not as much needed. You
Hmm.
have more time during the day for you, and you think, now what? Even if you're working, you may be doubting how good you are at your job, or if you still want to do that job.
Yeah.
A lot of the moms come to me wanting more flexibility, so that they are more present in their kids' lives, want to spend more time with them. And this is where we start. But usually there is another deeper level, a layer that we um, uncover. Many, many, many keep coming to because they want more time. We're not going to buy more time, but we will look at how the time is spent now. If it's wisely spent, because these are the main resources. Our energy and time are the only resources that we cannot buy or outsource. This is where we look at, and then again, usually underneath there's maybe people pleasing patterns. So you're giving your time and energy where it's not belonging, where it's not necessary, and now you reclaim you don't have time. There's a lack of boundaries, even with work. Working at home, like everyone. That's why I say everyone is individual, has got individual needs and stories, but there's usually a lack somewhere. There's usually a leakage somewhere of energy and time that we are unaware of, and we just bring it to the conscious mind, and we start taking action from there.
I love that. And you're based on the South Coast like me, aren't you? But
yeah,
do you work online, or is it just face to face you do?
Yeah, the majority are online, because again, it's easier, it's accessible, and I don't mind working in person. I've done that before, and whatever works. But I don't like driving too far, and then that takes up a lot of time there and back.
And
But
also
yeah,
for the client, it's the same thing, isn't it? Especially in some of these cities on the South Coast where you have to spend a small fortune parking and things.
absolutely.
Online kind of makes sense, really.
Yes, it's the comfort of it. I had few moms, their kids were around as well with during, so you don't have to change your routine, change your schedule for sessions. It's obviously it's not the best when your child wants you, because this is your time. This is your time but during nap time, that's easily done. In the evenings, I work few evenings as well. But again, I am a mom of young children, and I've been trying to be as strict as possible with my work and life boundaries, because I want to be present in their lives.
Of course. And I think that's maybe a thing that is going on in society at the moment. It's hard to keep that presence, partly because so many people are scrolling on their phones, but also because they're a bit knackered and they just need they need to nourish themselves a little bit in order to be able to show up for the rest of the family. So
Yeah, I read something that by the age of 12, you would have spent 75% of the child's life with you, and then by the age of, let's say, 16, 18, they may move out. And I want to make the most of that time.
Yeah. Yeah. And where are you headed? What's your ambition for your business, if you have one?
I do have one. I do want to start launching the group program. Actually, the program, the outline is, I've been working on that. But my biggest dream ever is where I'm heading, is to have a wellness center for moms. What that would include myself, like coaching and different practices, maybe massage, maybe midwife clinic, hypnobirthing possibly as well, baby massage. I'd love to have a little, like a nursery area on site, so when moms come for their appointments, they can leave their babies with trained, uh, certified people, and then they enjoy whatever they are in the clinic, in the wellness center for, whether it's for massage, reflexology, yoga classes, or even something as a self-development, personal development, coaching, or different. This is what the aim is to have that wellness center in the southeast.
That's beautiful.
Overlooking the seafront.
Nice. I love that. Go on, tell me some more details about it, because it's the detail and the feeling of it, isn't it? That's underneath manifestation.
It's just all very bright. The majority of the building is glass. A little like cafe or kitchenette that the moms can help themselves to. It's not a membership. I don't want it to be a membership. They book in a session, whichever area they're coming for, whatever clinic, and they come to spend time as well afterwards with their children. So it's a space where moms can find everything they need in one place. I like to work in collaborations, so having different women, mothers who understand that yes, cancellation last minute do happen.
Yeah.
Life carries on. If someone is taking advantage of that, then absolutely that's understandable. But it's having that flexibility, having that feel of community as well, where moms feel supported. Lots of flowers in the building, absolutely. Candles, but candles I know are dangerous, but I love scented candles, so something of scented something to be in the building.
You could have an infuser with some of those little
Yeah,
powered candles.
just a child-friendly one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the aim, to have different, someone like doulas, just a space to be.
Yeah.
And then definitely having a silence room, no phones, no devices, just a silence room where they can close their eyes and sit down for a bit, or yeah, it's growing. The vision is growing.
I love it. I'll be your doula.
Yes, I'm counting on you.
Can there be a birth room? I keep thinking about
Oh, that would be amazing.
how can we get birth out of hospitals? Because we live near Brighton, right? And Brighton is quite a kind of hippie. It's got one of the highest home birth rates, not the highest, but it's double the national home birth rate.
Oh,
But
wow.
there's no maternity, there's no midwife-led unit in Brighton. And there's one particular midwife who's been campaigning her entire career to get a midwife-led unit here. And they're rebuilding the hospital and still there's no MLU. And it's just, yeah, there aren't great choices for places to give birth in Brighton and Hove. So and around, well, in the whole of Sussex, really. It's very limited. But ultimately, I'd love to see more people giving birth at home, because you know what you were saying about how they were trying to push you along after your section. Obviously, you wouldn't be doing C-sections in the home, but often women are being pushed along because they need the room. And that never happens at home. There's no pressure on the room. It's just you and your stuff. But that's a bit of another conversation.
I think if the excuse wasn't to have my bed, I would have accepted that she's encouraging me to move and to get better soon. But when it's, come on, get up because we need your bed, that was very harsh to listen to hear. No one needs my bed. I'm just as important as anyone else. This was my immediate thought.
Of course. I hear that. I'm going to just ask you one last question, or maybe it will be two. Well, in season 1, I would ask people, if you came face to face with a pregnant woman, what tip would you give her about what's coming?
I'd say don't ask others about their experience.
Okay.
Just
Podcast about everybody else's experiences. So you switch off now.
No, sometimes we're obsessed with knowing details.
Yeah.
That is rather harming. Then you can ask for information, like what did you pick in the hospital bag? How is there one thing that you want me to know? But sometimes we get too obsessed with details that just puts us down, and it's not really helpful.
Yeah.
But asking for follow your gut. You can ask people around you, but follow your gut.
That's what I was looking for, Sally.
Being obsessed sometimes. I do ask questions a lot, but again, it just goes back to how I feel and letting go of control. So no matter how many people you ask around, be sure that there's so little you can control in your birth experience.
Mm.
A lot of the circumstances are out of your control. Depends on who's on the ward. Depends on the time your child is born. If they decide to come naturally or C-section. So I mean, don't get too obsessed
Mm.
with the information that you're gathering.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess go with the flow with what's presenting
Yeah,
for you. I doubt you wanted a placenta previa, but that's what you got. But
absolutely.
you had to reroute, as the sat navs would say.
Absolutely. Yeah. Think of how can I make the worst case scenario the best case scenario?
Hmm. I really like that. I think that might be quite a nice little note to finish on.
Mm.
So obviously, I'm going to link your business in the show notes. Um, Remind me the name again. Say it again.
Coaching for balance.
Coaching for balance. I love that. Are you a Libra by any chance? Have you got Libra in your birth?
No, no.
I'm a Libra, so
My mom is.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's where it comes from. Sally, is there anything else you'd like to say before we finish?
Um, I just loved today. Thank you for bringing me on. And whoever is listening to your podcast, your brilliant podcast idea, just be sure, like, as I said, take what you want and leave what you don't want. And as you said, if it's were anything to focus on how I can make the worst case scenario, best case scenario. This is your focus, to make it as best as possible, not to overthink, not to keep ruminating on thoughts or things you can't control, and just enjoy your pregnancy, enjoy your motherhood.
And well, I did say I was going to ask you two questions, so I'm going to ask the second question, which is: it once a mother has become a mother, obviously you work in that field more. Is there one little takeaway that you would give them?
Make room for yourself, make time for yourself, definitely.
Love it.
Yeah.
Really,
And
really.
another one, when you ask for help, just give it completely, like, let go completely of controlling,
Yeah.
because we tend to micromanage, and that just doesn't help. That keeps us in the overthinking loop.
Yeah, and people are less likely to help if they're micromanaged. So,
Yeah, it creates resistance.
yeah,
It creates that sense of wanting to control everything, and especially partners, they don't like that.
yeah, yeah. Receive with grace, I guess.
Yes, let go. Just make room for yourself.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you so very much for spending time with me this afternoon. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Emma.
I've forgotten how I finish these. Oh well. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
She is growing, she is cramping, she is bleeding, she is ovulating, she's conceiving, or she's grieving, she is holding, she is birthing, or she's choosing from her knowing and her wisdom, her own path. She is bleeding, she was bleeding. Now she